What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be checking out Dorothy, my 1974 Ford Courier. You've probably seen my other Courier Ducky that I'm building. That's an old 302 swap that I'm in the process of turning into a four-wheel drive. This truck came from Kansas, hence why we call her Dorothy, because she's not in Kansas anymore. Her being red just kind of adds into that name. Today we're going to walk around Dorothy. I'll let you check Dorothy out. Bone stock truck. It had 48,000 original miles on it when I got it. Now it's at 56. So let's get to it. So this is Dorothy. 1974, 1.8 liter Mazda, 4-speed, 410 axle gears, original full wheel covers, original headlight bulbs, which is just kind of neat. It's not really that big a deal, but the truck is a great driving truck. It's fun to drive. The bed's really solid other than behind the wheel wells where they usually get a little bit of cancer in these trucks. The paint's been touched up some, but overall, really nice original truck. Does anybody else love old bumper stickers, even when it's just like the Amco Motor Club? But this is Dorothy. As you can see, I'm missing one of my front hubcaps. I threw the hubcaps back on for the video, but I lost one not too long ago because the wheel weights on these wheels right now interfere with the wheel covers actually clipping in all the way. And so I've taken them off when I'm driving around town now, so I don't lose another one until I get the wheels rebalanced and see if we can get wheel weights that don't protrude so far down the face of the wheel. But so this is Dorothy. Let's check out the interior. The seat has been recovered. That's one of the major things I've changed. The original seat through the seat back and on the driver's side was pretty worn out. The foam was falling apart. The cover was actually still in pretty good shape. It was thinning on the driver's side and on the seat back. And so I decided to have it replaced. You didn't really sit on the old seat. You sat like down in it in the frame because the foam was so sagged out on the driver's side. All the original paperwork sitting there in the middle of the seat. Door panels are in surprisingly good condition for one of these trucks. Usually they're pretty hashed, but they're pretty good. The dash pad is cracked, like most of these trucks, but the original radio did work when I got the truck. I was actually listening to one of the classic rock stations here in town with this AudioVox FM converter, and the original AM radio didn't like that too much. In the middle of the Immigrant Song, the speaker popped, like cloud of dust popped in the middle of the hook. The radio, I tried it with a different speaker. It doesn't turn on. I don't know if it popped a diode or what the deal is. But under dash air, I'm not sure if the dealer did it or if someone deleted it because the heater core was leaking, but the original heater core is gone, or if it's because it didn't fit with this AC unit. But the AC is running off the fuse for where the heater was, so I'm wondering if the dealership that put the air in, or if it was done before the truck was delivered. I have a feeling it was done at the dealership, if they deleted the heater core. I added the tack. There's the odometer, 56,821. I have oil change records for the truck, which I'll get the original paperwork out in a little bit, that show in like 2000, it had 47 or 48,000 miles on it, and the oil was changed. And then from there, I guess the truck was parked by the old guy that had it. I'm not sure what they did without heat in Kansas, because it can get pretty cold up there, but I'll open the hood and show you around under the hood. Okay, so under the hood, we've got my flagpole for a prop rod, because at one point I took the hood off and didn't feel like putting the hood spring back in because it was kind of useless. If the wind blows hard enough, and not even that hard, you get hit in the head of the hood when you work on these things. But original Mazda 1.8, when I got the truck, it still had the smog pump on it. I took all of that off, and then I took like the heat riser airbox tube that goes over to the exhaust manifold off, and the stuff for that off, just to declutter the engine bay a little bit, since I'm in Texas and I don't really need to flip this switch over for the ambient temperature being lower than I think 50 or 60 degrees. Even in the winter, this truck starts up and drives fine when it's 30 some odd degrees here. It's still got points. It's pretty simple. I replaced the radiator because the points right here where they braze these brackets onto these radiators. The original one, it was breaking, and this radiator was really cheap. The replacement reproduction radiator for these trucks. which I was kind of surprised to even find. It's probably just because it was used in a handful of other things too. The AC does work. That is a new compressor, but these old non-barrier hoses with like the barb and hose clamp style attachments, those hoses leak 134A, because I did convert it to 134A because at the time I couldn't find any R12, and they don't hold R134 very well with the smaller molecule, and so it does leak freon out. I need to get a different hose kit and then put a modern parallel flow condenser in it, and it'd probably work pretty good, honestly. But yeah, that's the engine bay. Nothing really special. It's still got an exhaust manifold on it. I did swap to a Wilwood master cylinder because I put second gen brakes from like a 79 Courier on here. So I have disc brakes in the front instead of the drums. That master cylinder, it's a universal fit, but I had to slot the holes out to make it fit on Courier because the studs spacing was just a little bit different. But it's a 1-inch bore. It works really good with the second gen brakes. I like the way the pedal feels. Truck stops good. And then the universal reservoirs, you can remote mount those if you want, but I just turned them in a direction where they didn't hit this factory airbox since I have it, because I still have the Hitachi carb and not a Weber like a lot of people convert these trucks to. My Hitachi's in pretty good shape. Truck runs pretty good. This truck drives like a brand new truck. You drive down the road at 70 miles an hour, take your hands off the wheel, it drives dead straight. It's an absolute joy to drive. Mine does not have a clutch fan on it like some of them do that I've seen. Overall, great little truck. I have fun with it. It's got a lot of stuff like the little plastic slipcover bag over the wiper motor still. Actually, in the back, behind the seat. Okay, so behind the seat, I had to pull the seat forward. It gets stuck on this. With the upholstery, it's a little bit thicker than it used to be, so it doesn't pull forward as easily. Kind of rubs against that. But original jack, the original toolkit to change your tire on the side of the road's in that little toolbox cubby wrapped in the original plastic slip cover deal. The tool to drop the spare is clipped in there. This truck, I just carry the spare on the bed because the actual like hoist part is broken. It's not up underneath there anymore. There was no spare when I got the truck. So that's Dorothy. I'll climb in the cab here in a second and show you the original paperwork, but let's fire up. That's the electric pump you hear. These trucks had a factory electric pump, which is a little odd for the era. Runs pretty good. When it's cold, it likes to have a little bit of choke until it warms up. But it does start at the turn of a key. Probably not running perfect. Like I said, these Hitachi carbs, a lot of people replace them with a Weber. Runs like a little sewing machine. And like I said, it has no issues doing 70, 75 miles an hour other than the lack of overdrive. I've actually got a 5-speed for the truck that I bought off of a guy here locally that's also building a Courier. And so I'm going to drop the 5-speed into this at some point to have overdrive and do the clutch at the same time. So let me shut the hood and I'll climb in there and show you the original paperwork. So here's all the original paperwork I got with the truck. The operator's manual that would have hung off one of these knobs on the AC when the truck was sold. The consumer information for loading the truck camper in the back of a Courier, which is pretty neat. The warranty facts booklet, the original owner card, William D. Halfhill. If this is the date the truck was sold, which I would assume it was, it might just be the date the warranty was registered. This truck sat on the lot for a while, considering it's titled as a 74 and it was sold in April of 75. Maybe it was sold just before the 75s went on sale, because I'll have to look at the door tag. Actually, let's look at the door tag now. The data tag down here says manufactured September of 74. So it sat on the lot ostensibly I'd say 4 months. Maybe it got there in January, because if it had to be put on a boat to come over from Japan. And these trucks were shipped without the bed on them as a cabin chassis to avoid the chicken tax, and they put the beds on them when they got to the States because they were not imported as a pickup. They were imported as a cabin chassis. But in the back of this owner's manual, here's the last time the oil change was recorded anyway. In 2000, it had 47,627 miles on it. And the part number on that right there, maintenance performed column, when I pulled the oil filter on it that was on it right after I bought it off to do an oil change for the first time, that is the part number of oil filter that was on there. So my thought is, considering the truck only had 48,000 miles on the odometer since when I got it in 16, I'd say that the mileage is original. You can decide for yourself. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I think it probably is, given there was only a 1,000-mile difference between 2000 and 2016. But at 2000, Harold H. Reed owned the truck, not the original owner. Not sure if it had any owners in between then. Could have, could not have. But original owner's manual, I love stuff like this. I think there is notes in here from the original guy or from somebody. Circling like, oh, there's the oil filter part number, etc. I don't know if he wrote any other notes. I don't see anything else. It's pretty neat, though, to have all the original paperwork for the truck. Something I just thought about that I figured I'd point out. These are the original heater controls. They do nothing for the AC. But I love the way the fan controls work on this truck. You pull out for your different fan speeds, which is pretty neat. And then this audio aux FM converter, it does work, but if I get the radio redone, I'll just have it rebuilt with AM, FM, Bluetooth, and whatnot. And so I may replace this with a CB, since that bracket's there. There's already holes. I can just use the holes to put a CB there, because what mini truck doesn't need a CB? But yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want to know about Dorothy. Light switch for Couriers is on the column. Wipe wash on this other stalk. You actually dim the headlights here, not on the floor like most American vehicles at the time. Dimmer switch for the instrument cluster lights is right there. This old Phillips 66 service card holder was on the dash when I got the truck, and I didn't feel like taking it off. I felt like it was part of the truck's history. Headliner's in pretty good shape, just a little dirty. If you know anything to clean this good, let me know. I've tried Clorox wipes. Worked okay. Didn't really get all the stains out, but this is my little truck Dorothy. Let me know what you guys think. So now you've met Dorothy, the Courier that started my obsession with these little trucks. I bought Ducky because I enjoyed this little truck so much. And I only wanted this truck because I saw a family photo at Thanksgiving, mid-70s. My great-grandfather had one of these trucks. It's white. It's in the background of this photo. It's not by any means the focal point of the photo. They're all just standing in the driveway. And I asked my grandmother about it. She's like, oh, yeah, that was your great-grandfather's truck. He kept his tools in the back. That's why he had a camper topper. And she had completely forgotten that he had the truck until I said something. And I thought it was really neat. It's kind of different than Ranger. It looks a little bit more like a small 70s F100. And you don't really see them very often. So I tried to find one. I found Dorothy. And it's been a great experience ever since. The truck drives great, super reliable. You can drive it anywhere. I don't care what anyone says about old cars and trucks not being reliable. Anything can break. Sometimes, yeah, you have bad luck, but just get out there and drive your stuff. I guarantee you'll have a good time. Let me know what else you want to see on Dorothy, if there's anything in particular. I'll try and make videos anytime I do anything to Dorothy, but to be honest, I mostly drive Dorothy to work and to the feed store and whatnot. And there's not a whole lot I have planned for Dorothy other than maybe fix the AC, put a new condenser in it that's a modern parallel flow one, hoses that don't leak out Freon so bad. I'll have the radio sent off for AM, FM, Bluetooth, and then, of course, the 5-speed I've got for it. So if you want to see some of that stuff in the form of a video, I can certainly make that happen. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like Ducky or Dorothy better. Is 4x4 V8 swapped mini truck more your speed, or is stock 4-cylinder original-ish mini truck more your style? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.